Hey guys, Jennifer here with the Family Fudge. Thank you for clicking on this video and welcome to Bunches of Lunches Subscriber Edition. This week, all of the lunches I'm sharing with you are hot lunches with no sandwiches. And all of these lunch ideas were sent in by my awesome subscribers. So if you're looking for some easy lunch ideas that do not include a boring sandwich, then definitely stay tuned. Okay guys, I'm kicking things off with a lunch idea sent in by Taylor from Australia. Now, when Taylor sent in her lunch idea, she requested a giraffe theme, but unfortunately, the closest thing I have to giraffe around here is llama, so we're just gonna go with that. My daughter Mackenzie is actually going to be eating this lunch today. Taylor let me know that shepherd's pie is her favorite, but here in the US, when we say shepherd's pie, it usually includes beef. So yes, in this recipe today, I did go ahead and use ground beef. I also used some onion, some peas and carrots, and a good amount of garlic mashed potatoes. And I also decided to give this a try. This is a shepherd's pie seasoning mix. Now, this is not something I typically use when I'm making my shepherd's pie, but I found this in the British foods section of my grocery store, and I thought it might be really interesting to give it a try. I thought it might give our shepherd's pie a more authentic flavor. And just in case you're wondering, this shepherd's pie seasoning includes things like tomato powder, garlic, onion powder, sage, rosemary, bay leaves, celery, and mustard. Now, I don't typically put so many different spices in my shepherd's pie, but I have to say that this is smelling so good and it's created this really rich and delicious looking gravy. So once I had the shepherd's pie filling all ready to go, to make these into shepherd's pie muffins, I just added a scoop of the filling into my little muffin pan. I did use some silicone liners just to make sure they wouldn't stick. Then I put my mashed potatoes in a Ziploc bag. I cut off the tip. That way I could swirl the mashed potatoes on top just like this. Once I had all of the mashed potatoes on the top, I stuck this in the oven for about 30 minutes or so, and now they are looking like this. These are smelling amazing. I can't wait to give one a try myself. But I do have to say, I only made half of this into muffins. I did take the other half of all of the ingredients, and I put together a more traditional looking shepherd's pie. Once I had the potatoes on top, I did make sure to rake the top of the mashed potatoes with my fork because I'm told that this creates little crispy bits of potato on top, and that is definitely the more authentic way. Okay, so now that Taylor's main course is done, I'm gonna go ahead and add some cute decorations to the top. And then I'm gonna move on to the fruit. For Taylor's fruit, she said apples, apples, apples. She absolutely loves apples. To make these a little more special, I did go ahead and slice them using my crinkle cutter. And Taylor said to make sure to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice directly on the apple slices. That way they don't turn brown so quickly. For Taylor's vegetables, she requested carrots. So again, I'm using my crinkle cutter here to slice these up. And to go along with these carrots, Taylor also requested some ranch. And you guys, I have to admit to you, I used to make my own ranch from scratch, but ever since I found this home-style ranch from Sam's Club, I pretty much just buy this instead of making my own. It really is very tasty. For Taylor's snack, she requested Doritos, and she told me that Doritos are actually really popular in Australian kids' lunch, but instead of adding the traditional kind, I thought it'd be really fun to give these a try. These are the new Dorito 3D chips, and as you can see, they definitely look different than a regular Dorito. To me, I think they look a lot like a puffed up bugle. And instead of being just nacho cheese flavored, these ones are actually chili cheese nacho flavored. Now, if you are from Australia, please let me know in the comments down below if these 3D chips are available in your country. I always think it's very interesting to see what different flavors of chips you can find in different countries. I know that when I lived in Japan, the flavors of chips available there were really different than the chip flavors available in the US. And then that brings me to the sweet treat. Taylor requested fairy bread. Now you guys, I have a complete separate video on fairy bread. I'll link that down below if you want to check it out. But basically, fairy bread comes from Australia, and it's supposed to be really popular for like birthday parties and special occasions. Oh, and you guys, it is really easy to make. You just need bread, butter, and sprinkles. Or as they like to say in Australia, hundreds and thousands. And now finally, to complete Taylor's lunch, I'm going to be adding in her drink, and she requested either orange juice or apple juice. I decided to go with apple juice because I know Mackenzie loves this kind, and after all, she's the one actually eating this lunch. Okay guys, next up is a lunch idea sent in by Carmen. Carmen is from Memphis. And for her lunch today, she requested all yellow food. For Carmen's main course, she requested mac and cheese. But this was actually kind of challenging because not all mac and cheese is yellow. This white cheddar mac and cheese is definitely not yellow. This baby shark mac and cheese is yellow, but we're not going for a baby shark theme, so I didn't want to use that. This Cheetos mac and cheese is definitely not yellow. In fact, it's the most orange mac and cheese I've ever seen. So I finally settled on this kind. This is the Annie's Penne with 4 cheese mac and cheese. And you guys, because of this includes cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, Monterey Jack cheese, and ricotta cheese, I think it's really that mixture of cheeses that gives this mac and cheese a more yellow color. Now with this particular kind of mac and cheese, you start by cooking the noodles just like normal, but once the noodles are done, things get a little bit different. While the noodles are draining, you're actually supposed to put together the cheese sauce separately before you add the pasta back in. So as you can see, I have my milk in there, I added some butter, then the powdered cheese mixture, then I whisked this like crazy to get all of the lumps out. Once the sauce was creamy, I added the pasta back in, gave it a big stir, and now as you can see, I'm left with a super creamy yellow mac and cheese. So now moving on to Carmen's fruit. She requested a banana, but as you can see, my bananas are only about 50% yellow. These ones got ripe super fast, but that's okay. You guys, let me know in the comments down below, do you think that this banana looks perfect or do you think it looks too ripe? To help this banana look a little bit more cute, I am gonna go ahead and put it in my little banana holder, just like this. And you guys, these banana holders are supposed to keep your banana from getting smushed in your lunchbox. Now to go with the banana, I'm also adding in some mango, but instead of a regular mango, which is more orange, I'm actually using a yellow mango, which is still kind of orange, but definitely more yellow than the regular one. I'm just gonna add all of these mango chunks right back here. And then for her veggie, Carmen requested yellow bell peppers. And to make these extra cute, I went ahead and cut them into star shapes. Now, since this lunch has a mac and cheese, I'm going to be giving it to my son Griffin, and because I want him to eat these bell peppers, I'm also going to include a little bit of ranch so he can dip them in there. Now, moving on to Carmen's snack, she requested goldfish crackers, but again, this is kind of a challenge because not all goldfish are yellow. They tend to be more orange. So I ended up looking through my kind of extensive goldfish collection, and I found the ones that I thought looked the most yellow, and those were the original goldfish crackers mixed with some of the Easter goldfish crackers. So as you can see, it's kind of a combination of a light yellow and a dark yellow. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this entire section with these crackers, but for Carmen's sweet treat, she requested some lemon cake. So I decided to pick up these really cute lemon layered cake bites. I got these at Target, and they actually had lots of different flavors of these cake bites, but of course the lemon ones are perfect for an all yellow lunch. And now last but not least, for Carmen's drink, I'm just adding in some lemonade. Okay guys, now that brings me to a lunch idea sent in by Yara. Yara is from Palestine. For her lunch today, she requested a rainbow theme, which I love. And for her main course, she requested pizza. Now, of course, you guys, there are so many different ways that you can make pizza, but one of my favorite and easiest ways is to make it with some English muffins. For these mini pizzas, I'm also using some pizza sauce, some mozzarella cheese, and some mini pepperoni. And don't worry, for all of you who hate pineapple on pizza, I'm not going to be adding pineapple on this pizza. Now for this lunch today, I'm actually going to be making enough for all of my kids to have some, since they all love these mini pizzas. But I do have a special helper. Lily is here helping me get these put together. This really is a perfect recipe to have your kids help you make. It is so quick and so easy, especially when you use the English muffins for the crust. After that, we're adding on plenty of cheese, and we're going to flatten that down because we want to do something really special with our pepperoni. And we kind of need our cheese to be on the flatter side to be able to do that. Since Yara requested a rainbow themed lunch, Lily and I are going to go ahead and place our mini pepperonis in a little rainbow shape. These are looking so cute already, and they are going to cook super fast because all you really have to do is melt the cheese and heat up the pepperoni, just about 10 minutes or so in the oven, and it's good to go. So now that we finished the pizza, I'm going to move on to the fruit and the vegetable. For Yara's fruit, she requested a combination of watermelon and strawberries. I'm going to add a little bit of rainbow flair to this as well. And then for her vegetable, she requested broccoli, but instead of having ranch to dip the broccoli in, Yara requested hummus. And you guys, this is just the regular hummus. It's not the carrot flavored hummus we had last week. I'm just going to add a little bit of this hummus right on the side. For Yara's snack, she requested Pringles, and since I already know that Yara loves pizza, I decided to add in the pizza flavored Pringles. And for Yara's sweet treat, she requested Sour Patch Kids gummies, and I decided to get the watermelon flavored ones since I already know that Yara likes watermelon. And then finally, I'm also going to be adding in a berry flavored drink. This one actually is a probiotic flavored water. Up, I have a lunch idea sent in by Sydney. Sydney is from Chicago, and for his lunch today, he requested a breakfast theme and a Spider-Man theme. Now, for Sydney's main course, he requested a Jimmy Dean sausage in a pancake. Now, this is actually a store-bought item, and my kids really like these. I know these might look a little bit funny, especially the one that has blueberries. For Sydney's fruit, he requested watermelon. And to make this watermelon extra special, I've decided to use my teeny tiny miniature melon baller. And to this watermelon, I'm going to add a little Spider-Man decoration on top. For Sydney's vegetable, he requested a cucumber, so I went ahead and cut these with my crinkle cutter as well. And since this lunch is actually going to be eaten by my son Jackson, I'm actually going to load up a ton of cucumber in here, which is just going to leave me a tiny space for a little bit of ranch. Next, for this breakfast slash Spider-Man themed lunch, Sydney requested yogurt, so I thought these superhero themed yogurts would be perfect. I don't typically buy this kind of yogurt, but they do look really fun with the characters on the outside. And for Sydney's sweet treat, he requested a cereal bar. Now you guys, these are just like a Rice Krispie bar, but instead of using Rice Krispie cereal, this has Cheerios. And to make this easy, I did go ahead and get the store-bought kind, but you definitely could make these from scratch and they probably would be a lot better. And you guys, last but not least, I'm also going to throw in a drink. Since this is a Spider-Man lunch, I'm definitely going to go with the Spider-Man topper. And this flavor is actually a mixture of fruit and veggie juice. And there you have it, guys. That is everything in Sydney's lunch. Now definitely let me know in the comments down below, out of all of these lunches, which one was your favorite. And you guys, if you'd like to send in your lunch idea, there'll be a link down in the description box below. Do make sure you're already subscribed since these are subscriber lunches. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.